Hey everybody, it's Elliot from Little Punk People here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Helloween's new self-titled album, Helloween. I'm very excited about this. I also wanted to say thank you for all the support on the Cannibal Corpse review. That video inspired me to do this. So anyways, let's do this. This album features 3 of Helloween's singers, Michael Kiske, Andy Dares, and Kai Hansen. Michael Kiske is the singer that I'm most familiar of. I listened to Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1 and Part 2 a lot when I was younger, and it's crazy to me that Michael Kiske still, after all these years, since 1987, still has that powerful, strong voice. Almost like he time-traveled his past self to do this album. I also have to say, I love how they use all the singers. They harmonize so well.
Hi everyone, I'm Elliotts Dad, and I have some things I would like to say about this record because I'm really moved by it. Okay. I apologize for that. This album opens up in a wonderful way. Out for Glory is the first track, and this song lives up to its name, and it's a perfect opener for the album. And I also want to mention right away, I noticed that the guitar tones are relatively clean for metal, and I like that because you get a nice, clear sound. So we're off to a very good start.
Since we are on the topic of songs, I'm going to talk about my favorite songs. Fear of the Fallen, I love the beginning guitars. That song kind of reminds me of like Fear of the Dark, especially with the clean guitars to start out and then it gets heavier and stuff. Mass Pollution, I love crunchy bass, groovy riffs, and nasty solo sounds. There's a part exactly 2 minutes and 50 seconds in where it's just for a moment, where the guitars are like doubled and it sounds like King Diamond or Ozzy Osbourne type of guitar solos, and I absolutely love it. My favorite song on the album is a song called Angels, mainly because, I love the catchy chorus, incredible singing melodies, I love the riffs, but the main thing is that there's a small moment in the middle of the song, about like 2 minutes in, just for like 5 seconds, they go into this Beatles / Simon and Garfunkel type of thing where their voices are harmonizing and it's nice and clean, the piano in the background, and I just wish they did stuff like this more. I love it when bands go into this different type of breakdown where it's more clean guitars or piano and classic just Beatles stuff. It keeps my mind refreshed because I'm constantly listening to this awesome epic music, which I love, but when they add these different twists and turns, I'm like, ooh, what is this that's coming up? So that's why I really love the song Angels.
Since Elliot mentioned Fear of the Fallen being one of his favorite tracks, and I completely agree with the fact that he referenced it to Fear of the Dark, the song by R&B, and it just has that same feel, the same vibe, the way the vocals come in. Basically, it's like the song opens with a clean guitar with possibly a chorus effect to open the song, and some introductory vocals before blasting into their melodic, power speed, metal signature style. Angels, another song that Elliot just mentioned. I love that song as well. That song has another very catchy chorus, which is one of my favorite parts of this band in general, why I like them on Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1 and 2, like he mentioned. They were one of my favorite metal bands back then, and now they're coming back into the fold for me to become one of my favorite metal bands again today because of this new album and this lineup with all 3 singers. Now, before I go on about other specific tracks, I just want to say another thing in general about this album is, first of all, the album cover is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Take a look. Obviously, we have it floating right here next to me. But it's reminiscent of Keeper of the Seven Keys 1 and 2, but even better, I might add. Another thing is the trade-off guitar solos on this album are spectacular, as well as the trade-off vocals. And this album basically sounds like a group that is indeed very much united. Now back on the tracks. Moving on with the album, a song called Best Time is almost like a dancey drum beat, kind of an 80s, slightly pop style, little goth alternative, a little bit. And in the verse before jumping into a more traditional sounding Helloween chorus. So it's really cool, interesting, a little dancey, a little bit different, and I like it. And then going on to Mass Pollution, this may have one of my favorite guitar solos on the album, followed by a wonderful kick drum, raise your fist kind of moment. I think that kind of song would be perfect for them to play live. I don't know if they play it in the set. Hopefully soon we will find out. Then we have Rise Without Chains, which is another catchy, triumphant song with a catchy, triumphant chorus. Robot King comes after that. The breakdown is really nice. The guitar lines are really nice. And I noticed in this song there's almost like a King Diamond guitar line for a few seconds in the song. Anything related to King Diamond and any reference or anything that I hear that reminds me of King Diamond is top notch. Next we have the song called Cyanide, and these opening vocals sound a lot like Dio, like classic Dio. So if you're a big Dio fan, listen to the song Cyanide, listen to the way it opens up, and let me know if you agree that it reminds you of Dio. I love it. On to Orbit. I consider this to be a beautiful and brief interlude in the album. It's track 11, before track 12, which is, I think it was their first single that they released for this album, called Skyfall. So it's 12 minutes long, it's track 12, and it is one of my favorites on this record.
Now I want to talk about the song Orbit and Skyfall. I feel like these two songs mix well perfectly, and I think they meant to do this on purpose. Orbit is an instrumental song. It has this really cool, at the beginning, it kind of sounds like you're summoning the devil in space, but then it turns into this beautiful, melodic kind of guitar interlude / solo where it just sounds beautiful. And then it transitions perfectly into Skyfall. Onto Skyfall. It is a 12-minute song. It managed to grab my attention the entire time. There's not a dull moment in that song. So it really shows how incredible of a band Helloween is, because that is incredibly hard to pull off.
One other thing I want to mention quickly about this song is that it even has kind of a little mosh part somewhere in there where it goes. I just picture a huge mosh pit, because I'm an old hardcore dude as well. And then the best part of the song to me is the last few minutes. So the song, never a dull moment, and even when you get to the end, I think it even gets better.
Now, for the guitar work just in general, all the solos, all the riffs, very well crafted. And on top of everything, the guitar tones are just wonderful. And when you really listen to it on headphones like I did, you'll start to notice all the different instruments that they used. All the different types of soundscapes that they used here and there. There was even a few songs that I noticed it kind of sounded like they used brass instruments here and there. So I love how they are experimenting with different sounds. It really got me excited.
Now I wanted to add about overall production and diversity in the band, like Elliott just mentioned. I think that the band has a little bit of a Pink Floyd influence here and there. I could hear it. You might not be able to hear it sometimes, but I could hear it even sometimes when they do one note like here and there in a subtle manner. And like Elliott mentioned with the guitars sound perfect. The vocals, all three vocalists sound perfect, in unison with each other. The drums, everything. And having a song like Skyfall as like their main single reminds me of when their older albums they had Helloween as one of their main singles, and it was a long, epic song. So it's like they are doing throwbacks to what they were, but when you take it all the way up to here, to present day, to what they are now, it sounds as if they're more powerful and better than ever, and as if they're having as good as a time as they ever did.
And I agree with my dad. I think they truly evolved while keeping that classic Helloween sound. I just have to say in closing, this album is overall very, very solid, very good. I don't think there's a really dull moment on the entire album. I loved it all the way through, and if you're a Helloween fan, you're gonna absolutely love it. If you're like a power metal fan, you're gonna love it. This is the album for you.
And I wanted to thank you for watching this, and in closing for me, I just wanted to say overall, once again, like he said, I love the album. It's really good. It's an epic album from start to finish. If I had to say anything negative about it, maybe make it a little bit shorter. Song called Down in the Dumps, not my favorite, but it's still not a bad song. So I don't know if my criticism makes any sense anyway, so I don't know if there's anything worth criticizing. That and maybe one of the last 2 tracks on the album could have been omitted from the album, but they're not bad. They're just maybe not as incredible as the rest of the songs. I just wanted to say any kind of constructive criticism, but you could really take what I just said and just throw it out the window, or throw it out in the dumps. So absolutely recommend Helloween self-titled. And the fact that they called this Helloween means a lot, if you really think about it.
That means that they have the most faith in this album to be their self-titled.
Yeah.
So it has to be good.
Yeah. And I'm an old jackass, so Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1 and 2 were like huge for me. and I listened to them all the time back in the day. I owned them on vinyl now. I had them on tape, and then I had them on CD, and then I had to get them on vinyl, and I'm still big fans of those records. And this album, the reason why I'm here sitting here talking about it is because not only does it live up to it, and it's called Helloween, because they believe, and I might be agreeing with them here, that this might be their best yet.
I agree.
Let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks a lot for watching.
Yes, thank you.